Okay, good morning members and welcome for today's lesson. Okay, today we are going to learn about broaching. Specifically, we are going to focus on broaching tool configuration. Okay, to start with, I'm going to introduce the members who helped one way or another to come up with this assignment. The members include Purity Burudi, Osita Joseph Awuor, Hamisi Mwinyi, Livingstone Njoroge, Luke Mwangi, Finlay Ngeno, Beth Augustus, and Benedict Pepela. Okay, our objectives for today include: first, we are going to describe broaching operation. Then we are going to look at how broaching operation occur and how it can be done on a machine or on a tool. Then the second objective will be to explain the main parts of a broach, how a broaching tool look like, and the last objective will be to explain the different types of broaches and broaching tool. Then I want just to go ahead and look at the nomenclature of a broaching tool. Okay, a broaching tool can be defined as a multiple tooth tool, a multiple tooth tool made in the form of rods and bars. Okay, the tooths are arranged similar to a saw, except that the tooth vary in heights over the length of the tool. Okay, if you look at the nomenclature of a saw, they are almost similar, but they vary in terms of the height of the teeth and the length of the tool. Maybe the one of the saw the length is longer than the one for the broaching tool, and the height of the tooth can also be bigger. Then the height of each tooth determines material removal by the tooth. The series of multiple tooth is arranged in three distinct sections known as roughing teeth, semi-finishing teeth, and finishing teeth. That is now the nomenclature of a broaching tool. Now I want us to look at an example how a broaching tool looks like. And in the next slide, that is it. I hope you can see how a broaching tool looks like. Now, this is what we were saying. As you can see here, it has a teeth similar to that of a saw, only that they are varying depth and the length. Then I want us to listen to a audio that explains how broaching tool operations occur. I created a small audio here for you to listen to how a broaching tool occurs. So I want us to listen to it first before we can proceed. Here we go.
Hi and welcome to Make Learners Unit, a place where we handle different mechanical engineering topics. In today's program, Luke takes us through a machining process called broaching, whose concept can be traced back to the early 1850s, but still finds its use today. Briefly, we can describe broaching as a machining process that uses a sharp cutting tool called a broach to remove material from a workpiece in a consistent and continuous as well as accurate way. In broaching, we can have the tool moving past a fixed workpiece, or you can feed the workpiece past a fixed tool. That means you can either have the tool in motion or we can have the workpiece being in motion. In some cases, though very rare case, we can have the two, that is the workpiece and the tool, being in relative motion. The broaching process can either be internal through the center of the workpiece or external across the surface of the workpiece. This machining process is commonly used to remove material selectively from a workpiece to achieve a certain shape. And the difference between broaching and the other machining processes, for example, in the use of the lathe, the milling, machining process, is basically the type of tool used. In this case, we have a special tool which we are calling a broach that is not as common as the other tools used in the various machining processes. So next we are going to look at what is this kind of a tool that we are calling a broach tool. For example, if I had a workpiece that is 1 meter long and I'm making a hole, if I move the tool or I move the workpiece, if I move the tool in this case from the right hand to the left, each tool is going to carry along, is going to cut, make a shallow cut and carry along the chip to the end of the part, that is to the left hand side if I started from the right hand side. In many cases, a single pass of the broach usually completes the machining of the surface. But in some cases, there are some workpiece that requires multiple passes with the use of multiple broaches, depending on the geometry and the amount of stock that is to be removed. The parts of the broach tool that carries the teeth is further subdivided into 3 sections. The first section carries the roughing teeth. These are the teeth that are used for removing large amount of stock or large amount of material, and they usually result into this process being very fast but a very poor and a rough surface finish. The second section carries the semi-finishing teeth and the last section carries the finishing teeth. The second and the third, they are used for removing smaller amount of stock or material of the material, and they are used for the final finishing and production of a very accurate product. The broach tool design is basically determined by the shape to be cut, the properties of the workpiece material, and other related factors.
Okay, that it is. I hope you have now listened to how broaching operation occurs. Next, I want us to watch a video here that shows us the parts of a broaching tool. The broaching tool has different parts, and our video here explains the parts of those sections. And here is the video.
Namaste guys, in this video we are going to learn what is broaching. So broaching is a machining process in which a multi-point tool called broach, whose teeth can remove desired material from the job in a single stroke. Now let's see what are the different components of a broach. So the first component or part is front pilot. The purpose of front pilot is to make sure that when you fit your broach tool in your part or job, it correctly aligns with respect to it. Okay. The second one is roughing teeth. The purpose of roughing teeth is to make sure that it removes the material roughly from the surface. The roughing teeth has high speed of cut, and after that is semi-finishing teeth. Semi-finishing teeth also has teeth, but its speed is low. And the last one is finishing teeth. The finishing teeth has the lowest speed of cut. Remember, lower the speed of cut, higher is the surface finishing you will get. That is the reason they are named as per the feed. And here you will see the pull end. Pull end basically is the place where you apply your force and pull it. Remember, a broaching tool is always used in pull direction. It is never used in push direction. Okay, you never push from the back side. If you do, you will face problem. towards Y. The next one is root diameter. It is the diameter of the front pilot. Okay, and the last one is overall length. That is the total length of our broach tool. Now, a question arises in your mind that how does this broach tool work? As you can see in the animation, when broach tool go inside, here you can see it removes firmly all the material from the surface. This is how a broach tool works. Here, the teeth you are seeing is currently are roughing surface teeth that has a high feed of cut. That is the reason it removes the material easily. Remember, the video you are showing is currently more high feed of cut in reality. The purpose of showing is that so that you can visualize. If I show a real feed of cut or a real broach tool working, you will not able to see difference very easily. It will take time. So it's just an animation so that you can visualize how it is working. Now a question arises, why we only pull the broaching tool? Why don't we push? Suppose you push the broaching tool. The problem with the pushing is that you will buckle your broach tool and it will break. That is the reason we never use pushing force in broaching tool. We always use pulling. Suppose you start pulling, the worst thing happen with your broaching tool that it will just stretch, nothing else. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any kinds of doubts and queries, make sure that you ask in comments. You can also check out the blog, link in description, for better understanding what is broaching.
Okay, and that is the parts of a broaching tool. I hope you have learned the parts. And now, as you have seen, a broaching tool is a hand tool that must be operated on a bench work. And now next I want to show you just an infographic that shows how a broaching tool can be done on a bench work. The first step, and here is the infographic. The first step involves preparing the workpiece that you need to work on and place it on a bench. The second step is to handle the broach tool well so that it cannot harm you. The third step involves a pushing stroke, and the fourth step drawing the stroke, and the last step is the repeating process, and that is now what we call broaching operation. Thank you guys for listening and welcome.